Hey guys, enter the stars. And on June 27th, 1986, a film was released on the 178th day of the year, with 187 left remaining in the end of the year. And the obvious mirror here is 87. That film was Labyrinth, and it released in 1986. The very next year would be the halfway point to 9/11. 1987, the 14th year after 1973, and in another 14 years. In 2001, the World Trade Center would fall. Now, this is the cover movie poster for Labyrinth. We're going to be taking a look at this film. What we obviously see here is the pyramid and the all-seeing eye. Atop this, clear Illuminati symbolism. But what's interesting about this film is it is 101 minutes long. Check out Nicholson 1968. He talks a lot about the number 101. We had 102 minutes of terror on 9/11, and it occurred in 2001. November 28th is an interesting date as well. It is the 333rd day of the year with 33 left in leap years. Let's take a look at this film starring David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly. So right off the bat, we get the lens earth, the inner eye. We get three owls coming out of the lens eye, which is the night sky. All of this in the introduction. Here's the inner eye model here. So you can see a rotating spherical globe that is reflective. Now watch these owls come out. And there you go. There's your owls, you guys. Unbelievable. Here's a good shot of the owls. Remember, these are the owl eyes in the night sky at the equator. And just before the word labyrinth forms in the screen, you get the reflection of the water. This is the inner eye reflection, as you see here. Here's a good shot of it. It's all right here in your face, you guys. You can't make this up. Then they show the firmament go right back into the eye of the owl. Unbelievable. Watch. There's the firmament in the eye of the owl. Unbelievable. Opening sequence, the owl lands on a Masonic pillar. We see the owl eye bridge in the background. As Jennifer Connelly enters the scene. More Masonic pillars. And here's Jennifer Connelly wearing the fleur-de-lis in a crown. We talked about how that looks exactly like the pattern of stars at the night sky, with the stars in the east going straight up and down, and the stars in the southern hemisphere going clockwise, and the stars in the northern hemisphere going counterclockwise, just like in the fleur-de-lis. This is their secret. This is why this is their royal symbol, because they know the secret. They didn't create the stars, but yet the stars match the pattern of the fleur-de-lis. Star pattern. Star pattern again on her vest. Now, the fact that she's talking about this in the mirror shows the star pattern is a reflection, because that is what's on her vest right now as she's looking in this mirror. We've seen this mirror pattern before, where they show the actor talking into a mirror, and then it gives us a clue, like in the Truman Show, at the beginning of that as well. And they show the beehive in the Truman Show, and we know that the back of the eye is lined with a beehive-like structure called the rods and the cones. Now, she says some kind of a riddle, and her brother gets taken away into this realm. This is like pure evil right here. Look at David Bowie. I mean, this guy is about as evil as it gets. He offers her this crystal ball, which of course is a reflective firmament inside the eye. But again, Satan wants to be like the Most High. So he counterfeits truth, and he turns it into his own truth. And then what happens is we are deceived at that point. This thing turns into a snake, and he throws it at her, and then it turns into a goblin. And he does this magic trick with the crystal, which, look at this. He's moving this thing on his hand. Unbelievable. So she has to enter the labyrinth to get her brother back. And there's plenty of eyeball imagery within the labyrinth. And we have David Bowie in leggings, a blouse, high heels, and long hair and makeup. Now this one you got to hear with your own ears. Unbelievable. Listen.
In 9 hours and 23 minutes. In 9 hours and 23 minutes.
In 9 hours and 23 minutes.
You'll be mine.
Now this little boy is played by the actor named Toby Froud. This is Toby, and he was born in 1984. Remember, there's 84 days between July 1st and September 23rd. Here she gets stuck in a dead end, and she comes across these two, and she has to ask them which way to go, but they tell her, hey, one of us is going to tell the truth and one of us is going to lie. So these are the two pillars of good and evil, the two eyes that deceive. Actually, neither of them tell the truth. It's just like the eyes in our skull and our head. These are the two trees of knowledge of good and evil. That's why Jesus tells us, if one eye causes you to sin, gouge it out. He's talking about the evil eye. And only choose good, the single eye. And here you see there's like an as above, so below component. There's part of this thing in the top, part in the bottom. The red and blue pill, choose neither. And here they've got them, there's a two balls up here shining down. So that's illumination, right? But it's all wrong and it's all backwards. This reality is built on sinking sand. So even when you think you're choosing the right pill, it's the wrong pill, right? We have to go with Christ's plan and the true good eye. And there's only one way through the Father, and that's through Jesus. And maybe that's the pineal gland, the position that Christ was in between the two thieves, your two eyes, at Golgotha, which means skull, when he was crucified. And that is the true single eye. He says the eye is the lamp of the body. And if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. Now your pineal is simply an antenna. You have to have Christ. You have to have Christ in order to make it to the Father. Here we got more eye symbolism. Remember, the eyes of good and evil. We saw the red and blue doors. We saw the pairing. There was also another scene where there was two door knockers. And again, those door knockers had the door knocker passing through, one through his mouth and one through his ears. That's say no evil, hear no evil. What's missing? See no evil is missing. You see? This is what they do. Here are the door knockers here. One was in his mouth, say no evil, and one was in his ears, hear no evil. Here's the bombshell, 9/11, on the wall just before they go into the stink bog. There's your 9, and there is 11. Now you guys have heard me mention on this channel many times that Jesus was conceived in the Hebrew year 3755. And then in 3756, he was born on 9/11. Well, they show us the 9/11 at 55 minutes into the film. So, as we stated, the film is 101 minutes long. So I thought I'd figure out what the 101st day of the year was. And that is 4/11, which is 44. Here we get a very inappropriate eyes wide shut moment where they're all dressed in the eyes wide shut masks and costumes as a love song plays, and the 16-year-old Jennifer Connelly dances with David Bowie. Now here's the interesting thing about Jennifer Connelly. She was a child model and actress. And like I said, at the time, she was 16 years old. She is now 44 years old. We just looked at the date of April 11th being 44. And now you know what all this means. And then we get another lens-shaped Earth moment where she's standing in this mirror, and we get the curvature of the stars again. As they mock God because they know the secrets and we don't, and they put it in their movies to brag about it, and 99% of people do not understand what they're looking at. As Lucifer tries to elevate himself above the Most High and his dominion over this planet and all of the knowledge. So she takes a chair and she smashes the mirror, smashing the illusion, and she falls out of this wicked dream she's in. And at exactly 88 minutes and 88 seconds is when she breaks the mirror of illusion in this film. And the whole illusion comes crashing down. So does this mean that we're out of time? What does this mean? And this is where they mix some truth into these films, okay? This junk lady shows her back into her room and starts piling all of her material possessions onto her back, saying, there's nothing out there you need. Everything you need is in here. That is us being locked in this material world. We don't realize that there's something on the outside that is far more valuable, our spirit, until we come to understand that we are burdened down by material possessions. And that's what is going on with this girl in this scene. The junk lady is piling all the junk on her back, just like the junk lady has everything piled on her back. Sir Nunos on the pillar of the boatmen. Now I want you to watch this part. As the gate closes and we have the two rings just like Sir Nunos. Now the fox rides on this dog like a horse. Of course, fox is 666. And dog backwards is God. How do we know dog backwards is God? Because the dog's name in this film is Ambrosius. And that is the drink of the gods. Ambrosia. So it's kind of a knock on God, basically, that the 666 is riding on God. They also frame Ambrosia as a coward. He doesn't want to go over the bridge, and he hides behind this brick when everything starts going down with the drama here, when they're trying to pass through the gate of Sir Nunos. In the final scenes of the film, we get David Bowie singing this song, Or Within You, in which he sings that he moves the stars for no one. The movement of the stars. And Bowie sings in this song, Within You, his world inside the eye. Your eyes can be so cruel, just as I can be so cruel. Oh, I do believe in you, yes I do. Live without your sunlight, love without your heartbeat. Can't live within you, I can't live within you. And this is where we're trapped, in the eyes of good and evil. Now, this is crazy. The Bible says that Satan will seek to change times and laws. Well, David Bowie gives her 13 hours to solve the labyrinth. And at the end of the movie, he says, I have altered time. I have turned the world upside down, and I have done it all for you. Does this sound like what is happening here in our reality? They show a 13-hour clock in this film, too. Remember, M is the 13th letter. And as David Bowie makes his pleas to Jennifer Connelly, that she could have all of her dreams come true and be a god in this reality, she realizes that he has no power over her. And Christ tells us that we will be given the ability to tread on serpents. He tells her, just let me rule you, and you can have everything you want. Fear me, love me, do as I say, and I will be your slave. My kingdom is great. And then she decides and discovers that he has no power over her. And that is when she wakes up from this terrible nightmare. At the 13th hour. And as soon as she says those words, you have no power over me, David Bowie turns back into an owl. And then she says her final goodbyes in the reflection of the mirror. The false reality that we live in, that we're locked into because of sin. Eve ate of the tree of knowledge and good and evil. The good and the evil eyes. The tree, the retina, the back of the eye. Her eyes were opened, and she was deceived. This is the reality we're stuck in, you guys. Take care and be safe.